Yes, guys, your eyes are not deceiving you. We're back. It's 7:30. We were here before for 6 o'clock in the special, well, like I like to say from the 80s, a very special Apple Bites. And that's what you guys saw at 6 o'clock. That was fantastic. I love what we were talking about then, so I might show a little bit of that as we do the show. But right now, we got all these great guys here on the show, and they're going to be talking about their many projects. And I got to tell you, folks, from the feeling I got in the green room, I have a feeling we are about to geek out.
Well, I really believe that Raphael is moving towards a 24-hour day, 7-day a week streaming service at this point. So the way it's going.
Oh my God, no! I ain't doing it, man. It's already hard enough to do these shows as it is. Oh man! So AJ, you said you've been doing it for like a year already, right? How do you find the whole grind?
I love it. Actually, I started this as a side project because I had to do a podcast for my day job, which I no longer have or do. So I keep doing the comic podcast. But my daughter decided she wanted to be on my podcast one day. I'm like, that's never going to happen. It was the long-term golf development. It was like nothing to do with an 11-year-old kid. And especially I didn't play golf. And so she's like, let's start one. So I started the comics because she was into comics. And we, the grind's been not an issue because it's something I get to do with her. Right. So a lot of our episodes we do together. Mm-hmm. And then I get to do where we get to be silly, cut up, have fun, go off the rails. And then I get to also interview people, which I didn't start out planning on doing, by the way. Like that found me, which was crazy. I got an email one day. It's like, hey, will you interview somebody? I'm like, sure, I'll try it. I was so nervous. I did it, fell in love with it. Got to, now I get to interview, once, twice a week. I do an interview with, Tanner was one of them, which was amazing. But I get to do the fun stuff with my daughter, and then I get to take it a little bit more serious when I get to interview people. And then it does get a little bit grindy. Like last week, I did 4 episodes, which was, you're talking about going 24 hours. I'm not there. But 4 episodes is a lot for a week. So
it is.
But you try to help
exactly
out.
What you're saying, because that happens here. Like, and somebody's already talking to me about, hey, Ralph, I can't do the regular show. Can we do an extra show on Friday? And I'm like, I'll see what I can do.
Well, and that's just it. Like, you want to help these people out. They're like, oh, my Kickstarter has a week left. Like, can I please come? Like, all right, come on, let's do it. And I, push through and end up releasing 4 episodes in a week. So, but it's fine. So I love it.
Oh, I gotta say, I love this. We started this version of the show because we, as you can see from the intro, we hit the cons and we used to do interviews with the 35mm camera at the conventions with the microphone. And then in 2020, when the whole pandemic hit, I had an artist friend who was like, dude, I'm creating all this art and I got no one to sell it to. I was like, you know what? Come on to the show. We'll do a live show and you can tell the people what you do and then they can go find you online. And ever since then, we've been doing the live version of the show.
That's something I haven't started yet, is live. Like, that's something I'm toying with, but we haven't done it yet.
The only reason I don't do pre-recorded is because I don't want to edit.
Well, I've cut it down a lot, but yeah, it is a grind doing the editing and then all the clips and all that stuff, but I'm not ready
with all these geniuses online, why do you need to edit anything? That's what's great about a live show. It's like, really, come on.
Right.
Well, see, yeah, exactly. Live, no editing.
No, the interviews, I'm very, very little editing, unless like curse words or, if they ask me, like, oh, crap, I shouldn't have said that, right? Like, can you take that out? I'm like, sure, I'll take that out. But then the ones with my daughter, depending on, you know how kids are. They have great days. They have bad days. She's having a bad day. My editing can be quite long.
Yeah.
So, but it's just what we do, but we still have a great time doing it together.
It's amazing. Like, ever since I started the show, my daughter, she was really young when I started, 6 years ago now. She would show up in the background.
Yeah.
She'd be like, hey, I'm like, oh, here we go.
Yep. I'll be shocked if that doesn't happen in my background sometime.
I mean, I shut myself in a room so it didn't happen with my son.
Because especially when they're young, they just they pop up anywhere they want to pop up.
I have an open door policy at my place, so anyone that comes in, it's fine. They can be on the show. No problem. It's good.
There you go.
Oh my god! And Tanner, I love what you do. You have such energy. I feel like you are your character.
I mean, I kind of am. I kind of wrote it that way in the comic books too, because it's based on a true story that happened to me, the origin story.
Right.
I sat on a pencil. It wrote itself, but not until like 15 or so years after I did it.
Right.
I was just toying around for YouTube, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna tell that story, and got a costume and decided make it a superhero origin story. So it was kind of an accident, but kind of like fate in a way.
Right.
That it just kind of wrote itself in there, and I've just been going with it. It started as the costume and me. So then when I transcribed it to the comic books, I just kept it me. I just was like, well, it's me. So that's how it's
I gotta
going to
say,
be.
when I first saw you, I thought it was just you as a character, and you did conventions. I was like, you had all that energy, and you were roaming around. And then when I found out you had a book too, I was like, dude, this is great.
Yeah, started without a book though. I started just as a YouTuber.
So you did start. Okay.
That was, you probably met me in like the very early days of Number 2 Pencil Man. He actually turns 4 next week, or this coming weekend.
Yeah.
He turns 4 years old.
Mhm.
And I started taking him to cons in 2022, and then I got the comic book in 2024. So I mean, it's been like a couple year process for the whole thing to kind of take shape, and now we have a couple YouTube live videos of him. We have 2, almost 3 books. Issue 3 is on its way.
Woof.
Hopefully be out by the end of July.
Yes.
We keep running into a couple delays here and there, but I mean, it's coming. So it's almost done, and we're gonna have a lot of action in that one. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and who knows where he's gonna go next.
And I'm happy you're saying that, because a lot of people think that making a comic is something that just happens. I don't understand where they get this idea from, and I can only figure that they're so used to the big two that and how they release their books, but they have a long process as well. It's just that nobody sees it.
Oh yeah, especially indie route books take a little bit longer, unless you're somebody who's able to put a lot of time and energy into it, and do all of it real fast.
Yeah,
takes at least, I'd say, most people about a year to put out a book, if not a little longer. And it depends on the size of the book too. And I know,
and how long you've been planning it. If you've been planning it before that, then it takes about a year or so. If you weren't planning it, then it takes like about 2, maybe 3 years.
I mean, I got lucky when I decided to do the comic books. I already had the YouTube material, so I was just like, I can turn that into the first 2 issues. And so we just made it a little bit better for the books. We took a lot of things I couldn't do with like my very mediocre, very amateur editing style, and we put it in the comic books. So now it's how I wanted it to be in the first place.
And CE, you've been working on this for a while now, right?
Yes. As far as the script goes, I started it probably 2017, 18. And
I had a feeling.
5-pager with the comics experience. They did an intro to writing course. And because I wanted to develop this idea, I kind of brought it to them. So it went from 5 pages to 110. And it's had a lot of in between now and called the real final version would probably actually finish in January. So that's what, 6, 7 years of script going back and forth, looking for an artist. I know the first artist I had, things ended up not working out. That was back in 2022, 2023. Put it on the shelf, tried to work on some other things. So yeah, talking about process with comics, I mean, it takes forever unless you're made of money and can throw it at a wall. Like, it's not an easy thing to do.
It's like, if I feel like I feel the thread here, so let's continue on this, because I really I want to get it out there, and I know we talk about it on the show a lot. It's a big process to get a comic book made. To get anything made is a big process. People think it's like boom and it happens, and you're like, no. Creativity takes a longer period of time than you think. Is it possible to do it in a short time? It is possible to do it in a short time, but that usually means that you are in a place with your craft that you're able to do that.
well, not only you, who's ever on your team, because you got to think about
That too.
it. Marvel or DC, these are generally speaking, obviously they're work for hire people, but
Yep.
you've got people who this is essentially their day job. Some of them have side jobs. But essentially, this is what they do all day, every day, so they can meet those deadlines and schedule. Where they're the writer, colorist, inker, all the little parts in between. On the indie side of thing, depending on if you're a one-man show doing all the art, the letters, the script, that could take a while. But if you're working with a team, what other projects are your artists doing? Like the current artist for the one that I'm doing with SourcePoint, he's got multiple other projects that he's got a shelf that to hit our deadline, and how does that affect his bottom line of him getting paid, and wiggle room and all that other kind of stuff. Like it's not just your schedule, depending on where you're at in the process. Like if you're the artist, like how fast is the writer able to do so? Are you working with an editor? Where's your colorist at? There's so many moving parts that you have to manage.
Yeah.
You have to be a project manager on top of a creative person as well.
I completely agree. There's so many hats you have to wear. Like the more I do the show, like before when I started the show, when we started Bitten Apple TV, we had a team. Now Bitten Apple TV is me because everybody's gotten other things they need to do, and it's a whole different experience than it was when there was 3 of us. So I completely get it, and I like that you're mentioning that because there's a process in comic books or in any thing you're creating where you need to form this team, and the team needs to be able to work with you. And we were just talking about this at the 6 o'clock show. You don't just, like, as a writer, you don't just pick any artist and go, you draw my comic. You want to pick an artist that compliments you.
Compliments you, but also doesn't drop off the face of the planet. I've had that happen a few different times. That's actually my biggest, if I've learned anything in making comics, is professionalism goes, you could be the most talented artist on earth. I'm going to go with the person who followed my prompt online, like, hey, I'm looking for an artist with this style. Please email me at this location, sequentials. And then you're going to get a bunch of people in the comments saying, I want to draw for you. I want to draw for you. Then you're going to get people Facebook messaging you. Then someone's going to email you, and it's going to be a bunch of covers. And all those people are awash, because if you can't follow those directions, I don't want to work with you. So, like, even just that process in itself is a whole thing. Like, are you going to stick with the project, or am I going to pay you for 5 pages when we need 20, and then you're going to go missing, and now I just lost those 5 pages of pay out of my budget?
And that's the big thing. And I feel like people forget that you're dedicating this time to this project, and when stuff like that happens, it's another delay. It's another reason why your book isn't out yet, and nobody knows this stuff because you don't really talk about all this stuff. Or at least you try to. I don't like talking about any of that back behind the scenes stuff because it's just drama. Tanner, when you were looking for your artist, was it an easy thing?
Actually, for me, I did have it was a good experience. So back when I started the con circuit, when I was promoting my YouTube, I actually met my artist in a mall convention. It was a 1-day mall convention, and he'll tell it to you, as I walked up to him and I did the very thing he hates most, is I complimented his art, talked it up, and then I didn't buy anything. But that one interaction, we were able to build a friendship from it, because I really liked his cartoon style. I actually have his book here, or our book, I should say.
Right.
So it has like a very cartoony, thick line style with vibrant colors. And I was drawn to that because I was always inspired by cartoons, and his art was something that just called to me, and him and we formed this friendship over years. And then when it came time for me to decide to do a comic book, which is when my son was born, because I couldn't do YouTube as much, I was like, hey, you want to do a comic book for me? He said no. But he thought about it, and then he decided yes. So ever since, we've been working together, but we've built like a really strong friendship over that time. And the compatibility that we have, we've tested it through various things. We've hosted a couple different things together. I know AJ knows about it, the other podcast that we ran for a little bit, and it's on hiatus right now as everybody's been busy. But we also do an indie-centered, indie creator-centered podcast called Indie Synergy Exchange, So we've worked on various different projects together now, and it's just we've had that compatibility for a while. And Frey's a really great guy, and he does his own stuff too on the side. So he has his own manga series he draws, and he has his fan art. So you'll probably see him at a bunch of conventions too. But yeah, we hit it off, and even though we get at each other every once in a while, it's because we have such a strong bond and we're able to do that kind of thing. And I think for both of us, it just kind of made sense to work together. He saw the story and he acknowledged that it had potential, and he gave me a chance. And he knew that his art style would really work well for it. And yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more. And
I gotta
that's
say,
kind of how we met.
I can feel like it does feel like you guys complement each other. You know,
Mhm.
like because like you were saying, it has that cartoon feel. And when I first saw you, I was like, you're like a live cartoon, so it completely makes sense that you wanted to go with that cartoon. And
Mhm.
of course, it has that '90s cartoon feel.
Oh yeah. Oh, Frey's really into like retro cartoon styles as well. One of his things that he does is he'll mix retro characters with like modern characters in a lot of
Mm.
his fan art, and I think that's what really kind of drew me to it as well, because I grew up on cartoons. Now I was early 2000s cartoons, but the line art and stuff kind of evolved from one another, and it all, it's still in the similar art style as it was before in a sense. But yeah, I mean, it works, and cartoons are really one of my biggest inspirations. So
Same here. So
I
AJ, you
forgot
start
how
working.
young Tanner was.
I mean, I don't feel that young.
Well, that's what 2-year-olds do to you.
I have to agree. Well, yeah, once you get to that point, you're like, damn, how much did I age? Oh my god. So AJ, you start working in your comic. How's that process go?
Well, it's done. That was a great process. It was I got very lucky, like Tanner. Like I hit it off. Mike Algier from Dork Art Studios. I had him on the podcast. We kind of met through that, and just kind of hit it off and just became friends and messaged each other here and there. And he sent me a piece of fan art one day of our mascot, Panel Pete. And I was like, well, this is cool. You got to do a cover. So he's like, all right, I'll do a cover. So he just turned it into a cover. And I was like, all right, that's cool. And he sent
Hold
that to
on.
me, and I was like, oh, sorry. I'm big screen now. There you go.
Oh, beautiful.
So that's the cover he did. And actually, back here, I should move it because it's being hidden. That piece of art hanging on the wall, that's the original pencil sketch of that cover
Nice.
that he sent to me. And I cried because he sent it to me, which was amazing. But that started out as fan art. And then I was like, hey, man, why don't you just do the whole book? And he thought about it for a couple days. He's like, I don't know. And then he came back. He's like, yep, I'll do it. I was like, perfect. So knock on wood. I mean, you were talking about it takes about a year. We
Yeah.
were about 8 months from concept to completed
That is
book.
amazing.
He worked very quick, about a page a week, and then I cut a little bit of the system off the end because we didn't just order samples and then order a print run. We actually went to the printer because I have a friend that owns a print shop
Right.
in Traverse City, Michigan. And we sat there for a whole day. He let us sit there at a conference table and he just kept printing us samples on different papers. And we spent a whole day just touching and feeling paper and picking out which paper we wanted for the cover and the interior. And we picked it. And then the next day, he ordered it that day, showed up the next morning. And we got to do every step of the process. We got to hit print and, feed it through the machine and take it over to the cutter and cut the paper to the right size.
That's so cool.
Take it to the
really making your
scoring
own
machine. And I got to feed, except for the first one, because he did it just to make sure it was right. I got to feed every one of them through the machine that bound them, staple bound them, folded them, and trimmed the final edge. On we got like 500 copies, of different covers and stuff. But I got to do the work. So I stood at one end and fed them through the machine. My daughter stood at the other end, taking them off, putting them in boxes. I actually recorded the whole process, and we're actually trying to put together like a YouTube video or some kind of documentary about that process.
Yes.
I'm working on it. That's my big summer project.
That's so cool.
It was so much fun because it's like some people, everybody, we make comics, but we made our comic like literally, like my blood, sweat, and tears are in this thing, literally.
I gotta say, that really brings it into perspective. I've made the comic. I actually put the whole thing through the machine.
Right. So it's just like, it's really cool that like these are here now, like in my hands and touching them and like being able to see them. And Tanner was on the process. He was part of the process. He's in my book. Well, number 2 Pencil Man's in the book. I gotta find it. So one of the cool things that we did is part of my comic is set in a comic shop. And because Panel Pete is our mascot, he's like a comic word bubble that comes alive and helps a kid overcome being bullied. And so while he's in the comic shop, he lives in a comic that's found in a dollar box. So in the comic shop, you can see, comics on the shelf, right? And we were trying to decide, like, hey, what comic should be on the shelf, or what comic should be on the shelf? Right. And instead of using like the Marvel or the stuff like that, we decided to put indie books on the shelf. So you'll see, I found a small picture here. It's kind of hidden, but you have to make me big again. I'm sorry.
Hold on, I'll put you big. Hold on.
Look big. You'll see right here is number 2 Pencil Man on the shelf in my comic book. Under, there's Grimm from Stephanie Phillips, The Digger from T.S. Luther, Celestial Knight from Homebrew Comics, Avalon from Brandon from Avalon Comics, or 123 Publication. There's a bunch of them in here of all the people that I interviewed during that process of creating this comic.
That's pretty
I
cool.
would ask, I was like, hey, Tanner, do you mind? It might have been even after, because Tanner was pretty early. I was really early. I think Tanner really was like the straw that broke the camel's back to make me do the comic. I was so inspired with what Tanner did, and I got to go back and find it. It's going to be part of the documentary. But I went back, and I remember going back and asking Tanner, hey, do you mind if I use the book? And he was like, oh, that would be so cool. And so that was just a little way to like include it in the book and kind of an homage to the indie community, right? So
one of the best, I would say. Like, I wish more people did that stuff.
We're trying.
I love it because George Medina did something similar as well. He had a print, and his character was at the comic store, and he's reading real life comics, and the rack has other comics. And what he decided to do was, as his Kickstarter reached certain stretch goals, he would spin to see which one of those digital comics would be you would get as part of the package when you supported the Kickstarter.
That's cool. Awesome. That's cool too. Yeah.
Yeah. So I love that because it's this community. It's what we do.
Right.
I love having people on the show talking about their stuff, especially because Kickstarters are hard.
They are.
And they're not easy, folks. And people think just because a Kickstarter funds that means something. And I like to remind people here that just because they're funded, that just means that somebody put their funding goal a little lower so they can actually make sure to make the money for the company.
Well, I mean, that's what we did. I mean, I had this done and complete before I ever clicked launch, right? So I only did a $500 goal. We got $1,000, which was great. Helped cover, some of the costs, but I already had them sitting on my floor, in a box, comic boxes on my floor here before I even hit, so they're ready to go. But no, it's been an amazing process. And that you mentioned earlier, why not do something like this in the indie community? Because we're all in this together. Like, I'm not competing with anybody, right? Like, I love Tanner's stuff. Like, I want to support his stuff and, everybody's stuff. Like, I'd buy it all if I could, of everybody's stuff
I know that
on the pod. But, I have to limit myself a little bit. But
I know my wallet cries at me all the time.
Yeah.
I know Paul always cursing me because I'll bring the Kickstarters on, and Paul's like, I didn't see look what you made me do.
Exactly. Yeah.
Paul spelled Sucker, just so.
I'll remember that next kick when I launch my next Kickstarter.
Well, you can find mine too as well as AJ. So
I saw the link, so I will definitely check it out.
Speaking of the process, and I like where we're talking about all this. CE, you've been working on this for a while, and I love the fact that you're with our pals at SourcePoint Press, because we've been with them for ages, and I love the fact that they came back because they were gone for a little bit, and Dirk Manning's been able to like bring everything back up. So how did that happen? How did you end up with SourcePoint Press?
Yeah. So I did a kind of a similar thing as some other people on the podcast. So when I started getting into comics, I started in, we'll call it comics journalism. I wrote for Ain't It Cool News. I met Dirk at a New York Comic Con, so I was using my press badge to kind of walk around. He was doing a panel. Here's how you make stuff. This is like probably 10, 12 years ago now. So I walked over to his table. I literally thought that it was going to be a 2-minute conversation. I'm going to buy right or wrong and bounce.
Yep.
And then, he saw the press badge and he started talking to me. And he's like, oh, who are you here for press for? Now,
That's
depending
Dirk.
on how old you are or how geeky you are, Ain't It Cool News can have different connotations, different people,
Yeah.
and mean different things. So I was like, I don't really want to like potentially get into anything about this. But I mentioned it. He's like, oh, I used to write for Ain't It Cool News, and we started to talk more. And there was like all these little points, like I'm in college for journalism. He went to college for journalism. He did martial arts. I do martial arts. So this whole thing spawned a very long term relationship that Dirk's been a huge mentor. He's done some amazing things for me as far as advice for career, direction, all these different things. And he's really guided me through the whole thing. But doing the comics journalism, talking to other creators of all levels, like how do you do this comic thing? How do you break in? What should I be doing? What should I be looking for? So that led to my first series, The Six Swords, which I believe you guys covered way
Oh,
back when.
definitely. Yeah, we've
Yeah,
interviewed CE.
yeah,
Talk about, and it's good that you brought that up. Talk about Bitten Apple being around for a long time.
yeah.
We did that interview with CE. Oh my God, it's been years,
Also, like
right?
probably like 10 years ago for that
Woo!
first book, that first Kickstarter. So I learned a lot from doing the 2 Kickstarters with the Six Swords. I actually picked, and I'm doing conventions. I'm meeting the Source Point guys because I had a relationship with Dirk. He had just started to do books with them. So when I'm going to conventions just to hang out and chill and shoot the breeze with Dirk, I would then go over to the Source Point guys, and they were all great. Travis, Josh, all the guys, Stan. It was a great just publisher community. And I told myself then, it's like if I can get a book with anyone, like Source Point is on my list. I love
Yeah.
these guys. They're awesome people. Like I want to be a part of that group. I pitched them the Six Swords. I got told no. That one did not make it through. And then I took some time off just because life, kids, work,
Yeah.
money. I tried to push through some projects and they just weren't happening, weren't making it. I had a literary agent for about 2 or 3 years to try to get a children's book out. Did not work
Mm.
out as well. And then the Mafia versus Clan kind of came up as in, all right, this is the book I'm going to do. I'm going to do it smart. I spent a lot of money on the Six Swords, like you're talking about with money and stuff like that. It was a group project, as in there was other creators, so
Yeah.
the cost went down. But we did 3 books, and you're looking at a very large chunk of money to do 3 books created. So I was kind of tapped out for a little bit. And I tried to, like I said, do other books, and they just weren't happening. So I was like, I'm going to do this right. I'm going to do a page or not a page or two, an issue or 2 for a Kickstarter, and then I'm going to recoup my money, see where I'm at, and then do another one, and then another one. The traditional Kickstarter way. Well, Dirk, he had taken over at SourcePoint. He started seeing some of the images and stuff that I'm coming out with, and he messaged me. He was like, "Hey, so when do you think that book's going to be out by?" And I responded, "Well, when do you want it out by? What kind of question is that? Let's talk a little bit." So it just spawned the whole thing. He's like, "Hey, I think this is a good idea. The art looks great, concept looks great. If you can get me this finished book, put together a pitch package, and I think it'll do really well. I think Josh will really like it." So that's exactly what happened. And it really just came from starting literally 10, 12 years ago, an interview with Dirk, building that relationship, building that contact over time, going from someone I'm just interviewing to, we'll call it a work acquaintance or someone I interview, to more of a friendship. He's not the only one. There's lots of other people that over the last 10 years that I've really built that and developed it with. So SourcePoint, because I was going to conventions, I met them again. Josh knew me by face when my name came through on that um, on that uh, on that pitch package. He knew exactly who it was. He knew how much work I put in, going to conventions, doing all that kind of stuff. Going
Right.
back to what we talked about before, like professionalism. If I'm looking for an artist and I say I want you to email me and I want you to email me sequentials and you're, private messaging me covers, like that's out. We're done. No talking. So building relationships over time and staying professional and seeing that I'm putting in the work. That's how the source point thing came about. I can't say I am forever grateful to Dirk. I'm forever grateful to Josh for the opportunity. And I'm looking forward to it. It's got some personal ties to it, so that adds a little extra flavor because it is based on some real life experiences of my grandfather. Lots of mix of fiction and nonfiction, but working with Dirk as someone who has been a mentor in every aspect of we'll just call it comics, creative, professionally, everything is just a huge accomplishment. Just if this book never comes out, the fact that I was accepted to work with him like that's my personal win.
And it's funny that you're saying that because I think your Kickstarter is set for what, 2 months from now?
Yeah, September 15th. So I have been on the last 2 or 3 month grind on
Mhm.
podcasts. So if anyone's listening and wants to have me on, I can run my mouth all day. I'm ready to talk the book. I want to get it out there. We already have some stretch goals. We've got some first day backer goals for 50, 100, 150, and 200. So every goal that we hit, when we hit those goals for the first day, once we launch on September 15th, those are automatically getting tacked on for any of the people who are backing it. So I really wanted to hit it in October for Italian American History Month, but September is a little bit of a better Kickstarter month. So I'm getting the best of both worlds. September being a good
Yeah,
Kickstarter month,
September
and
is a
then I
better
can roll
Kickstarter
it
month.
and
Mhm.
end it in October for Italian American History Month.
There's a window in the fall. You
Yes,
have to
there's
get
a
it
very
in
small.
September or October. After that, you're in trouble.
Yes, and actually, I want to plug this for SourcePoint a little bit.
Go for it.
So, because I always want to help other creators out and people who are interested in getting published. SourcePoint is open for publishing. So, if you're interested in trying to get your work out there and you're trying to potentially get a book made, they are looking for books. They call it, I think it's like comics with a sharp edge is like their tagline. They're not looking for anything like not safe for work or anything like that. You can look on what they're looking for, but they're open to any
They have a
story.
vibe, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
there's a very specific vibe that they're looking for. They have a very open policy as far as what they're doing with creators, and it's based off the Kickstarter model. Dirk actually did an interview the other day that goes into a lot more depth about how that works. What they're looking for is you create the book, we're going to get it in stores, and anything you make on the Kickstarter, that's your money. So for me,
Mm.
anything I make on the Kickstarter, that's return on my investment to pay back and make up this book and then work on either the sequel to this or I just going to mention it. I have a second book that I got signed with SourcePoint as well. So
Nice.
depending on how things line up, that'll be the follow up. But SourcePoint's looking for creators. They're looking for books. You can pitch it. It's all right there. And what they're going to do is they're going to put your book in stores. They're going to do a 50-50 split. And from that 50-50 split, if you want to recoup your money, Kickstarter, they're not taking anything. The model is make your book, get your stuff. We will
Yeah.
put it into stores. Because when you start talking numbers, the way that a lot of these indie publishers fell apart is they're paying creators up front and then they're not making it on the return. Hey, we're going to print, I'm just making up a number, 1,000 books, but only 20 get sold. And now the publisher's out, all those
Yeah.
books that they just printed and can't do anything with. And if you do that over and over and over again, you're never going to last. So SourcePoint's changing it, and they are very, 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 very Kickstarter, crowdfunding friendly to have their creators make money back, but also to help produce the books that they're going to put in stores through Prana. I was trying to think of the name of the company is Prana.
Yeah, we love SourcePoint Press. I love the fact that they've amped it up a notch because they were already like this before, but I feel like this new model lets them be more like this now.
It's smart. Like if you really start looking at numbers, and everyone on the panel is a comic nerd, and has interviewed people, and probably knows this. It's expensive to make comics.
Yes,
It's
it
even
is.
more expensive as a publisher. If you're paying a page rate, and again, making up numbers here, and it's like, hey, we're going to pay the writer $100 and the artist $200. Well, if you have a normal 22-page book, you can see we're going into the grands, we're going into the thousands. Well, how many people are buying that book? You know, not everyone's Marvel, not everyone's DC, not everyone's going to be able to fund or get that return on investment. So again, if you're printing 500, 1,000 books out front, like we think this is going to do gangbusters, and 20 people buy it, well, the investor is out. The publisher, the investor, is out that money, and you can't sustain. You're automatically going to be in the red constantly. You're never going to make anything. But with Kickstarter, you're building your audience, you're making the money, whether you're putting it to your art costs or your printing costs, and then you're evening out. So literally, the way that I'm doing my model is the art I'm paying out of pocket. That's my, we'll call, loss. This money is going to the printing of the book. So for anyone who supports the Kickstarter, we're going to do an exclusive run cover, which it'll only be done for this Kickstarter. So anyone who supports it, you'll get the exclusive cover. But the rest of the books are going to be my print run that I'm going to provide to Source Point, so that I'm not, again, going out of pocket on my print run or them. So then any money I make back on the print run, then it's going back into the bucket where I can keep putting out books, or I can keep, producing new copies of the book, because the funnel of cash coming in is never going into the red. The loss that I'm taking that I'll eat over time is on my art. Production cost of actual physical stuff I can make back on the Kickstarter, and now I have an internal audience I just built. That's how SourcePoint's trying to run it. I think they're going to have a very
Well, that's how
long shelf
Kickstarter
life.
works.
No,
So it's a good thing they're running it that way.
But there aren't many indie companies who are running their
now.
publishing that way. And I remember talking. It's funny. I talked to Dirk about this before he became publisher at SourcePoint. It was New York Comic Con 2024, and that's how I mentioned it. I was like, why aren't more companies like embracing Kickstarter or Indiegogo or just crowdfunding in general to make their print runs? Because you'll fund your books and you have like your built-in audience, instead of just always, it's speculation. Most of the time, these indie companies have been doing speculation. Like, we're going to speculate what we're going to bring in, or they'll do the thing like, hey, we're going to get a celebrity and he's going to bring in the numbers. But how many of those companies have failed because no one wants the celebrity's book, or they just spend all the money to pay the celebrity? Maximize with Kickstarter. Get your print run through Kickstarter, hit those numbers, and then just sell at cons. It makes so much sense. I don't know why no one did it sooner.
Yeah, and I like the fact that they're because I know they were doing what they were doing, and they grew really quickly, and they kind of stalled for a minute, and I'm so happy to see them back.
COVID hurt everyone.
COVID did hurt everybody, folks.
Everybody.
And we like to tell people, when people are doing Kickstarters, nobody's really making any money. Maybe the big companies are making money on Kickstarter, but the little guys are just trying to make their book and then make the next book.
It's recouping costs.
Yeah. Want to make this book? I want to make the next book. Help me make it.
Yep.
Folks, come on. And you were not kidding when I was showing your Instagram. You've been hustling.
I've got a bunch lined up from now until September. So again, the call out is out. I can run my mouth all day. I will talk the book. I will talk comics. I will talk anything. I'm trying to, again, I look at it this way. One, again, I came from the Dirk Manning school. I am being given an opportunity, and I will take that opportunity, and I will go 100 miles past that opportunity. It's taken a while to get to this point. Comics is what I've wanted to do all my life and write them. And I've been given, quote unquote, golden ticket to get something published and put in stores. No one's going to take that away from me in the way that, like, I'm not going to do the work to get it out there.
Right.
I will talk. I will grind. I've got a couple cons I'm going to go to with like flyers and stuff for the Kickstarter that I'm going to hand out. I'm going to do everything to take advantage of. And at the same time, thank the people who are taking a chance on me. Like Dirk and Josh are taking a chance on me. I'm going to pay them back by putting my work out there, because that's what it's going to take. It's going to take.
But that's what it takes, man. I find that what happens sometimes is some people decide that if somebody's helping, they kind of like push it on top of them.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, do your part. Put your passion in it. It's better when people can see how passionate you are about something. It's one of the things I look for when I'm looking for who I'm going to talk to, who I'm going to interview. Is that passion, because that passion will come out, and it will sell whatever you're talking about so much better.
I'll put in the work.
Speaking of passion, Tanner,
Yeah.
tell the people all the stuff that you're doing here and who you are, because I'm gonna show off your Instagram over here, and you are like a busy guy.
Yeah, I could be more busy, but there are some limitations to what I'm able to do at this present moment. But eventually, we'll get there. I try to make the most of what I have in front of me, and I believe that anybody's capable of doing anything, and you got to get innovative with your approach to doing things. And I feel like a lot of times you see a lot of indie people, and they're going to just comic cons and they're selling their stuff there. I'm trying to come up with a new approach that necessarily maybe takes me into newer audiences that may not have thought about comic books. What you're seeing there is I actually do library events. I did a couple workshops at some summer reading programs last year.
Nice.
This year I took a break from it because I got a new job and I'm still adjusting to some of that stuff. But I did little superhero capes where kids could come in and make their own superhero personas through creativity. I've been doing the superhero for 4 years now, and I feel like it was fitting to make him stand for something. So I have taken to calling Number 2 Pencil Man the defender and inspirer of creativity.
That makes sense, though.
It really does. And, I feel like a lot of people, they'll look at me, and that's probably one of the first things that they think is pencils, creativity, and I wanted to lean into that. So one of the things I'm really passionate about is pursuing your creative dreams. And so I use Pencil Man to do pep talks too. I mean, you might have seen some of them on Instagram. I do them on TikTok. I have a theme song. That was for a theme song that I'm actually had somebody compose for me. I'm trying to like really get outside of the box and think of new ways that I can kind of get out there. I do not just Comic Cons. I go to art fests. I go to local vending events where I might be the only comic book publisher there. And, surprisingly, because I'm the only comic book person there, I'm doing pretty well. It's a lot of word of mouth for me. I do what I can in my nearby community. I don't have as much funds to go traveling yet. Being a dad and having a family, I don't want to go too far away, especially in the years where Xavier is 2.5 now. I want to be here, make memories with him while I can, but then also still try to like push my stuff however I can. So I mean, I've been busy. I've been busy in a lot of different areas, and yeah, it's not just the comic books too. I'm trying to get back to YouTube, so I do the live action Pencil Mans, and those are kind of like non-canonical adventures that I just put together, get a group of people to come help me out. And I've actually had fans that have actually come and volunteered for those live action videos.
Nice.
So if you've seen,
I almost made the 5-hour drive to go.
Did you really?
Yeah, I was when you put it out, I was like, do I really need to be doing this? No.
Hey, if you did, I would. Hey, I try to make it worth people's while. If fans come and help me out, I give them special things. I'll put it there. If you want to help me in the future, AJ,
it'll happen. I just gotta, when it falls in the right time, I'll be there.
Oh yeah, we'll make it happen. I'm trying to do YouTube more again since Xavier's getting a little bit older, so I'm trying to slowly promote my stuff on there again, make funny skit videos, because I just want to do creative storytelling as a whole. It doesn't matter if it's a comic book, it doesn't matter how it gets out there. I want to do it. I felt for so long that I suppressed my creativity, that when it finally came back, it's like I can't really stop it now. Even when things try to get me to stop it, I can't. So even if I can't make something, I'm trying to do something else to at least keep moving forward towards the goal. And the end goal for me is really just to inspire more people to pursue their creative dreams and, be passionate about their passions, because we're allowed to have passions. And honestly, if you don't have passion, life is kind of boring. And no matter what your passions are, you should be pursuing them. At least that's what I believe, and that's what Number 2 Pencil Man is kind of about. And that's why I feel like even though he was an accident, he was probably really destined to happen for me. Also, you talked about Mike. He did a variant cover for me. This is actually one of the variant covers for issue 3. Yeah, issue 3 is going to be a lot of fun. I've really been having a lot of fun with the story of Number 2 Pencil Man. As I told you, he started about 4 years ago. I've had the first arc of Number 2 Pencil Man in my head for the last 4 years, and am now getting an opportunity to bring it to life. I've done up to issue 3 on YouTube. So some of the stuff that you're going to see in issue 3, you can see on YouTube, but we've changed a lot of it compared to how much I've changed in like issues 1 and 2. So, but yes, issue 4 and 5 are going to be completely new to a lot of people. They're going to introduce the first main villain in number 2 Pencil Man. I'm super excited about that. Issue 3 kind of sets that up. I've got there's a lot. I could go on and on. Yeah. I love what I do.
That's the whole thing. That's what we're talking about. You just have that passion. And folks, if you ever get a chance to go see him in person, like he was talking about, go see him in person.
I wear the costume in person too at a lot of my events, and if I'm not in costume, I started learning puppetry, so I bring my puppets along. So
I love it.
There's something. I do something fun to at least engage people, because this is something too. It works. A lot of people and I'm not trying to harp on anybody on how they approach their sales and how they do things, but you see a lot of people at conventions and they're just kind of sitting there like, don't bother me kind of vibes.
Yeah.
And
we talk about this a lot here.
you see that, and it's just like, no wonder people kind of just walk past it. But I'm there in costume. Most of the time I don't even sit down. It's very rare that you'll see number 2 Pencil Man sit down. I mean, every once in a while I have to take a break on my feet because, some of those conventions, they go on for a long time.
Yeah, it does.
But I normally am standing, and people see number 2 Pencil Man, and because I'm in a costume and I look like a giant pencil, everybody comes up to me. It's like they hone in on me. It's like you can just see it. They turn their head, and then they're like, that guy, let's go talk to him. And a lot of people, even if they're not necessarily interested in the comics, they still come and they interact.
Yeah.
And I feel like even though they might not buy something from me, they're still getting something.
Oh,
And
definitely.
there's some sort of exchange energetically, or so many different things.
I've seen people interact with you and they leave with a smile, and it's a big smile, not even like a little smile. It's a big smile.
That's one of the biggest compliments I can get. And honestly, like, I'm here to help brighten people's day, encourage them however I can. And if being a giant pencil superhero helps people, even if they just want to come up to me and tell me the same number 2 pencil joke I've heard like 5 million times at this point, I'm gonna listen to it and make it seem like you're the first person to tell me, because hey,
can you give us, Tanner? Can you give us one? I haven't heard many.
Here we go. I knew Paul was going to chime in.
Well,
I gotta get my repertoire going here, so let's go.
So the one I get the most, and everybody acts like they're the first person to tell me this. They'll come up to me and they'll be like, "Hey, where do you know where number 2 pencil man's, or where number 2 pencils come from?" You're like, tree poop. And I'm just like, every time I get that.
And they crack up, right? Like,
yep. And of course, I'm just like, oh, that's a good one. I've never heard that before. Look, I get that one probably the most, but like everybody's like making pencil puns, like you're pretty sharp, and that's the point. I get like all that.
That's the point.
I get some inappropriate ones too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it. Okay.
Well, you see, this is the great thing though, because of like family friendly stuff. You gotta have some stuff in there for the adults and everything too. Otherwise, they're not gonna really want to get
the stuff
engaged.
that we liked when we were kids was the stuff that we didn't understand. It was like you watch a cartoon and it was something for the adults, and you were like, eh. Then years later, you're like, oh.
Yep. So as long as I'm doing that stuff, then I'm good. But yeah, it's just like, I get that type of interaction all the time, but people will come out of their way to like tell me stuff like that, and I'm like, you know what? If you're making a point to come see me, just to tell me something like that, it still has some sort of impact, and it's still leaving an impression.
They wanted to go tell you. They wanted to go see. Yeah, I get.
And it has led into some unexpected sales too. Like I've had people who weren't interested in buying it originally when they came up to talk to me, and then they'll be like, because you're so I've gotten this a handful of times where they're like, because you're so passionate about what you're doing, I'm going to buy this to support you. And then they come back every single time they see me, and it's wonderful. It's weird to have fans, because I have such a wonderful supportive community of fans. If you guys are watching this, shout out to you guys. I know I sent out the link to a bunch of people today. I have one. His name is Lee. He's my #1 fan. He's drawn me fan art. He's come to help me with my videos. He set me up on another podcast in Maryland. Like he really like he's amazing. And he'll message me every once in a while. I'll have like a bunch of other fans that'll send me meme videos just to watch. And I it's so weird because I've built this community over the last 4 years, and seeing it grow and kind of realizing the impact #2 Pencil Man has on people, which I didn't know at the time when I started it would have, is really crazy. And I'm so honored, and like I'm very, very grateful for everybody who has taken the time to help me create this, who have been a part of the journey, who has really just made this like so much more worthwhile for me. And yeah, I'm just so grateful. So any of my fans out there, I am so blessed to have y'all.
See, that's a humble, passionate guy right there.
All right.
I gotta say, like, I'm happy you brought this up because I tell Paul all the time that because he's in costume when he's doing his thing as well,
Oh, that's
and
cool.
it gets you a lot of attention, Paul.
Mm-hmm.
It does. I mean, it's funny because it gets towards the end of the show, and I'm getting the wig is killing me, and I feel bad for my wife. We attended Garden State Comic Fest last weekend. It was great.
Mm-hmm.
We met a lot of people, and it's just at some point you get to just take everything off because it gets so hot. But still, people engage. I mean, I think the draw with the cosplay is huge. I mean, I think you're kind of breaking down a barrier because you're saying to myself, hey, I'm willing to put myself out there. Maybe you're willing to come and talk to me.
So cool.
It's fun, and I think my wife dressed up as Amelia. It's an instant tank because everyone recognizes her as Amelia Earhart. And it's awesome because everyone knows her, and so it's really a lot of fun.
Oh, no.
I mean, it's fun dressing up. It's fun humiliating yourself, and and having a good time. So I can't beat it.
And it's one of those things, like you were saying, Tanner, that it gets the attention. It helps you sell your books, and I've told a couple people, if you guys can get a cosplayer to cosplay your character at your booth, it will get attention.
Mm-hmm. I actually, somebody that you know very well, I guess I was kind of the inspiration for them to dress up. Unnie. He also said to say hi. Him and I, we tabled next to each other at one of his first conventions back at Super Jersey Fan Expo, Super Jersey Comic Expo, I believe. I haven't been there this year. They are kind of postponing their show. I was going to do it again. But back then, we sat next to each other that whole weekend, and I was just like, your book would look so good with you like cosplayed one of your characters. And at the next con I saw him at, he had the whole Mushroom Wizard get up, and he was like, dude, you were right about this. Is like, I go into cosplay contests and I like promote the book and stuff. I'm like, that guy's awesome. Unnie, if you guys haven't seen his stuff, go
he's
check him out.
really dove into it. I mean, he has really dove into it. And we were talking about you this weekend. He mentioned you, like the whole story you were just saying, and I'm like, dude, he's gonna be on the show on Monday. So.
Yeah, if he's out there, hi, Unnie.
Oh man, yeah, dude. Sometimes you got to do. You really have to work your ass off. You got to do stuff outside of the usual, outside of the box. That whole idea of thinking outside of the box is it's not bullshit. Oh yeah, I think I got him. Here he goes. Look at that. Yeah. He's made his booth, so it's a little hobbit hole, and then you see him inside.
Yeah.
Oh my god! And then he hands out the sprouts. Because now you got a quest to go get the sprout.
I love it.
Oh my god, it's great. And dude, sometimes you just gotta have fun with it. I feel like we're too serious when it comes to our projects. We're like, come on,
Oh yeah,
do something.
If you're not having fun, there's no point in it.
Honestly. It's a comic book. You can't take yourself too seriously.
And that's why I get pissed off when somebody goes, "Yeah, that movie was not serious enough," and I'm like, "It's a comic book movie."
Oh man.
Oh my god. So AJ, tell the people all the good stuff about what you're doing, and I'll show off your Instagram.
All right, you'll see a lot of Mike. Mike's gonna. Mike and I joke because he doesn't do a lot of like promoting of himself. He messages me all the time that he's like, "You do more promoting of me than I do myself." I'm like, "Well, you're my artist, and it's amazing." There's my Thor homage cover. I absolutely love that cover. That's another fan art that turned into a full till a cover. Um, not Tanner, I was about to say Tanner because I'm looking at Tanner. Colin Hawkins from Nuff Said Books. He did that cover. He sent me Panel Pete, our little mascot, as Thor because he knows I'm a huge Thor fan because I have all this Thor stuff behind me, and he sent me that as fan art, and I was like, turn it into a cover. Here's some money. and, so it became a cover, an alternate cover of the book, which was amazing. That's the worst cover because I did it. That's the best cover, but I also did the blank one. So I joke and said that's the best cover that I did because I don't draw very well. I'm learning.
AJ, you're doing exactly what we're talking about. You're having fun with this. You can tell by the covers. You're actually having fun with this.
We are, and like the mascot, Panel Pete there, I owned a game store for several years, like a hobby shop, like board games, card games. I had a comic rack, but did a little bit of comic stuff
right
years ago. Ended up selling it because my oldest daughter got into golf, and that's where I started my golf journey. And then now I'm back into comics, which is amazing. She loved doing the helping out with the store and stuff, and I totally lost track of what I was gonna say. So that's fine. Oh, having fun. The mascot. That's what it was. Jeez. When I had my store, that was the one thing I felt like I was missing was the mascot. So I set out real early when we decided to do this. I mean, probably within the first week of setting up this podcast, like we have to have a mascot, and this is what I came up with.
That's a great idea.
Then I had no intentions of writing a comic book. Like that wasn't on the agenda. I just wanted a mascot to promote the podcast, And then after doing all these interviews, I was inspired and I was like, I can write a script, we'll try it. And I wrote a script. Mike, did the artwork. I mean, it was just so much fun. And the process, the collaboration, the meeting all these cool people, all these people that I get to interview and make clips of. And I just love it because I have something to promote and sell. And it also helps when I do the shows because I was going to do these shows anyway, just to promote the podcast, hand out those little, hand out little cards, just to try to promote the YouTube channel, right? Or the Apple podcast or whatever. The book at least lets me, I got to create something, which now I'm considered an author, which is very weird to me. I'm a creator. I've created this comic book. I never thought I'd be a podcast host or on somebody else's podcast. That's crazy.
I feel you.
There was Colin up, a little bit there, all the way to on my screen it's to the right, but wearing the Panel Pete shirt, which is awesome.
Oh, cool.
I turned that so I call him the Mighty Pete. That's our Thor character, the Mighty Pete. I turned it into a T-shirt because why not?
There it goes.
Yeah, I'm wearing the shirt in that picture, but it'll switch there. We actually got to meet. I got to meet him in person at South Carolina Comic-Con. We drove down and met there. But yeah, so we wanted a mascot. I was like, why not make a comic book? We go to conventions, hand out cards, also be able to sell the comic by standing and talking to people. If you're just sitting at your table, like you're saying, you're not going to sell a thing.
No.
So it helps us, at least cover some of the cost, at least buys us lunch.
Yeah, at least.
So yeah, we're going to all these conventions. We just got back from. It was funny, like I didn't CE when you were talking earlier. I didn't put it together till you were talking. I met Dirk at Cherry City Comic-Con in Michigan like a month ago, which was crazy. Like I was like, oh, I remember him from there. I had no idea he was with Source Point then, but that's pretty cool. And
Dirk is everywhere.
right? It's just like this is a small community, right? Overall, it's a small niche community, and we
I
all
tell
know
that to
each
people
other.
all the time.
Mm.
You know, I've not met a bad person yet in it, so which is knock on wood. But yeah, we get to go. We went there. We're going to Florida in a couple weeks. We're going to Terrificon, next month or 6 weeks, 5 weeks, something like that. Um, we're gonna do, we do 1 day shows around here all the time, and it's so much fun just to meet people and
Oh, definitely.
grow help grow the community, but also meet the people in the community and help them grow. Like I tell people all the time, like I can't wait until somebody's able to come on my podcast and like they could see a difference, right? Or feel that, like if Tanner came on and be like, dang, I got this because I went on his podcast. Like
Yeah.
that's what I'm in this for, is to help others.
I know
Like-
exactly what you're talking about, because when somebody like goes, Ralph, I was watching your thing the other day ago, and dude, that guy, I love his book. I bought I went on his Kickstarter. I supported him. I'm like, oh,
Right.
yeah, that's what I want to hear.
Yeah, I get a little bit of that, but it's like I can't wait till it like actually can move the needle. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And like, I mean, I know we're all doing our small part, and I feel like I do help a bunch of people.
All we can do.
Whatever I can do, and it's very inspirational for my daughter, right? Like she's gotten to meet
Definitely.
so many, she's gotten to meet and talk to, and we had Stephanie Phillips on our podcast. Like
I
that's
like Stephanie.
crazy,
Cool.
right?
Yeah.
We had Stephanie Williams on our podcast, so she's getting to meet all these people that are female inspirations, right? For her, her people to look up to, good
Yeah.
people to look up to, and so that's been very very cool for me too, is to have these people on that inspire her. So
Love it. And I gotta say, like, it does burn you out, but I love what I do, and every once in a while I have to go, okay, let me just take a break and then just come back at it, But
how long's that break? I get like an hour.
Yeah,
before
right.
my daughter's in here, like just recently this happened. Like you'll notice if you were to go to my YouTube just on your own sometime and just look at the progression of the thumbnails. She came in like a week ago or two. She's like, our thumbnails are getting boring. It's like, what? I was trying to make them look good and professional. She's like, no, change this crap. She's like, let's go. She's art director now of the podcast.
That's funny. But that's the way it is, At least she's like diving into it as well.
And she's into it, right? And like it's not like just something I've not had to force her to do any of it, right? She's written her own story. She created an 8-page zine all on her own. She just asked me how to fold the paper. I handed her a blank one. She came back 2 hours later with a full 8-page comic, illustrated and written. I'm like, what is going on here? So now I have to do one. So now I'm on this whole kick of trying to learn how to draw so she don't show me up.
You got to do it, man. You got to do it.
Yeah, Mike's been helping me, and that's the coolest thing too. Mike and I working together has been a fantastic. He's working on a new book, and he's sending me the pages just like he was sending me the pages of our book that we were created together. So it's like I'm like an editor for his book, and so it's really cool to be able to see the process. Like he sent me your cover, Tanner, like when he was working on it. He's like, look what I'm doing for Tanner. I'm like, oh, that's sweet. I love it. So it's like I love the like community we're building here. Mm-hmm. It's amazing.
I love it. And you're right. It's a small world. I got Dirk's book before I ever met him, and then I met him at which convention was it? It was one in Philadelphia. It's gone now. I think it was the Great Philadelphia.
Was it Wizard World?
No, it was the Great Philadelphia convention.
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah. So if I looked it up, I know exactly what it was.
That's where I finally met Dirk, and it was so interesting because you're reading the book and you're doing what's in the book, and then all of a sudden you see the book, and there's the guy who wrote it, and you're like, whoa. It's always amazing. I love this industry. I love the passion that you guys show, and I love showcasing it. It's the reason why we started Bitten Apples, because I sat there and I said, these people are doing great work. They need press.
Right.
Somebody needs to show off what all these great people are doing, because those other people already got their press. I don't want to chase them.
Right.
Paul, why don't you tell the guys what you do, because you are a jack of all trades.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm looking at AJ and CE and just saying, man, I got to get on your shows, because
Yeah.
I have a Kickstarter coming up. I mean, we're really excited. I started Time Enforcers 5 years ago during COVID. I was trying to come up with an idea to make learning history more fun, having gone through the experience with my son and realizing that both the educators and the kids were put into a situation where it made learning horrible. So Time Enforcers Episode 1 started out as a video game, and that's available on the app stores for download. It's also on PC and Mac. And what I like about it is it's really meant to be like a cinematography experience, meaning that it's almost like a chapter book experience going through that you read through, but then you're also playing a role-playing game at the same time. And while you're going through the game, you're actually being challenged by this character I created called the Inquisitor, who is voice acted by my daughter, and she challenges the players with questions. And I did 5, and you can't imagine how long it took to do 5 questions, but everyone complains there weren't enough questions. So it's just like, okay, so that's feedback. I got to put more questions in the next game. So anyway, I was working on episode 2, and Ralph has seen the demo for it, and we're going to be featuring 4 new characters in episode 2. We're highlighting Amelia Earhart. The next character is Detective Nick O'Time, who is based on the film noir characters from the 40s and 50s, like the Humphrey Bogarts and the Philip Marlowe's of the time. And then we're going to be featuring Togo, who was the dog that ran the Serum Run in 1925. And then a character that I made up to go along with it. Her name is Maisie Smith, and she is actually the mechanic for Amelia's plane. But she actually went to MIT and did graduate work at Caltech and studied in warp dynamic technology. So she's really smart. And the whole point is really to get kids understanding that there's characters in history you may not know about. And hopefully it piques their interest and wants them to investigate further. So the whole premise of Time Enforcers is to, 1, distort reality, change the timeline, and have fun doing it. And 2, get kids interested in learning about history. And from the reactions we gotten from Garden State Comic Fest, which we did last weekend, was phenomenal. I mean, I was engaging with parents. I spoke with many educators, and they were all saying how great this is as terms of a vehicle to get kids interested in learning more about history. And we currently have a Kickstarter ready to go. We're going to be launching on the 13th of July. And I'm really excited about that. What this developed was I was working on episode 2, and I had to create the cinema scenes for episode 2. But then I realized I'm creating all this artwork. Why don't I just make a comic book out of it? And that's what I did. So we're going to have a 48-page comic. And if you think about it, it's almost like the highlights magazines that we used to see in the doctor's office as a kid. So it's got the comic book aspect to it. So it's a storyline. We have a dungeon crawl that's going to happen. But during the midst of the dungeon crawl, we're going to have questions and answers through a crossword puzzle and a jumble that the kids, you can answer as you go through. And there's no need for internet access, because I have this device which was created in episode 1 that's going to be available in episode 2 as well. It's called the Chronoton, and the Chronoton is almost like a Pip-Boy from Fallout, where it has all the answers you need to answer the questions you're challenged with. So the back of the book is going to have these dossier files on all the characters in the game. It's going to provide their historical backgrounds. It'll give you the answers to the questions. You don't have to worry about going to the internet. And we also, just give you an idea, we developed these 2 cards for the Kickstarter pre-launch that is available through that pre-launch link for $5 or incentive. And what it is we're featuring Amelia Earhart and Detective Nick O'Time. And with these cards, if you join the pre-launch, contribute $5, you'll get a set of cards if you log on to the campaign and make a pledge. So, we're trying to draw attraction. I think it's an important project. In terms of the relativity of kids learning. The more I hear and speak with people at the different shows, it's either, hey, this sounds like a lot like Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, or hey, this sounds a lot like Oregon Trail. Well, you're missing a key fact. Hey, I watched Mr. Peabody and Sherman as a kid in Fraction Fairy Tales, and that's where I got this idea. So it's just like, you want to get it straight, that's where I went for this. And it's, everyone, the whole point is everyone likes history. I think if you turn it on the right way for them, they're going to really want to gobble it up. And, I really feel that, making history fun and engaging just sparks curiosity, sparks interest, and what really wants, kids to learn more. And part and parcel, this is, something I've been building out over time. We're actually created an education framework called History All Around Us. And with History All Around Us, we're actually trying to build a curriculum for, right at this time, 5th to 7th graders. And it's either through a district or homeschool or charter schools. It doesn't matter. We're throwing together materials that will be mandated by the state. So you have a subject matter that is going to meet curriculum requirements. And then we also provide a set of learning tools that go along with this curriculum requirements that gets kids engaged, not just through a digital game or a comic book, but we also provide what I call mission journals. And with these mission journals, they actually do their research. They write things down as opposed to looking at a computer and staring at a screen. So it constitutes that they do research, they write things down, they pull the research together as a team, and then they do a presentation. So it's all the fundamental stuff that I learned as a kid that I really think is falling by the wayside now with iPads, iPhones, and computers. And it's really getting kids back to basics is what I call it. And so it's we're using technology smartly. Technology is not the solution. Technology is a part of the tool that's part of the solution. And that's what I like about it a lot. And that's, I think, is really resonating with the teachers that we meet. And I presented this at the New Jersey Education Association last fall at their convention. And I had a survey of 120 educators, and over 88% thought this was a great program. This is something that can be implemented. We're also providing teacher support for it as well. So it's just not giving the kids the tools. We're giving the teachers the tools as well to implement it. And we've created a dashboard that they can go in, monitor the kids, create their own curriculum, and then actually make notes and such in terms of the grading. So we're thinking this holistically, and I think in terms of the way this approach is, I think it'll work really great once it's all said and done. And like I said, the comic book is one phase. I mean, the next phase after this is a tabletop role-playing game, and I got inspiration from Long Island Tabletop with Ralph last spring to create a game for it, and that is pretty much probably about 70% done at this point. It's just a matter of fine-tuning it, getting a rule book done. And right after this Kickstarter's done, I'll be doing a Kickstarter for that. So I'm really excited. I really want to get this in the pilot with the kids in the fall, which I think is achievable at this point. We have all the materials. We've been working on it, like I said, for 5 years. Just a matter of test marketing now with these kids and see if it works and getting their feedback. I've had some great conversations with educators, and they provided a phenomenal amount of information in terms of what they see and what's required. So pretty excited about this. Should be good.
Wow.
That's what I always say.
I think that's incredible.
Thanks.
Dude, I'm going to show this off because this guy just works his butt off.
Los Angeles, the city of angels, 1947. The war's over, but the streets still feel like they're fighting somewhere. Something sinister. Air's thick with the whiffs from Pan's 24, all-you-can-eat blue plate special, hot asphalt and bad intentions. Neon signs buzz and flicker, casting purple and green halos into the puddles. Ripples that shift the wrong way, like the streets casting reflections of someone or something that should not belong here. That's when you'll find me, Nick of Time, detective, time enforcer, and the guy they call when history's about to get itself into a knot. Some folks say I'm as tough as a $2 steak, and they're not wrong. But I've got a soft spot for the ones who are saving, the lost souls, the underdogs, the ones who never got their fair shake. I've chased crooks down back alleys, across oceans, and through centuries, and I've learned one thing: time's got teeth. Bite the wrong way, and it'll chew you up quick and spit you right back out. But me, I keep my rules close, my friends closer, and my watch wound tight. Because in this city and in this job, if you're not watching the clock, you're already out of time.
I'm just having way too much fun with this. I mean, I just when I looked at this comic and developing, and this is the preview issue that I've got out. I mean, we offer this at Garden State, and we got a great reception when I started offering it for no charge. It was awesome. What you say? Can you want a free comic and I'll sign it for you? It's like, yeah, sure, I'll take it. So it was really cool. I mean, it met a lot of kids, met a lot of parents, and this was really a great engagement tool. And then we pitched the Kickstarter for that at the same time. So I'm really hoping that this will key them to the fact that, we're doing this project. We're really looking forward to this Kickstarter launch to get it going. But, in terms of what the was going to say, the character development, especially with Nick, I've been a comic book reader for over, I'm going to say 55 years at this point, I'm not giving any clues in terms of how old I am, but regardless, I think in terms of what I saw with the comics I read growing up, like the classic Fantastic Four between Johnny Storm and Ben Grimm, and the relationship they had is like, not really brothers, but brothers, at least to joke with one another. And the characters I see developing with Nico Time, the character you just saw in Togo, is like they're going to very, very much like a Johnny Storm Ben Grimm interface. So I'm really looking forward to that. There's a ton of homage that I've got going on in the book, a lot of Easter eggs, because like I said, I've been following this for years, and I just want to pay tribute to the creators that I saw come before me and have some fun doing it all we go. And it's just not comics, it's like film and music, whatever. It's just I just having a great time with it. So it's fun.
See, folks, everybody here is having a great time with this. and we were, since we're celebrating our 10th anniversary, I had to dig in and go find. I sent it to UCE.
I thought I was in picking laughter.
But it was 8 years ago. Can you believe that? At Garden State Comic Fest.
Yes. Yeah.
When they did their Atlantic City show.
Yes. I had.
And dude, look how young this guy looks. Of course, there's Leslie and Cadma having fun at the convention. Yes.
Hey guys, this is Cadma here from Bitten AppleTV.
Let's move it forward a little bit. And look at that.
AKA Crisco, apparently.
Crisco.
Yeah, that Mel gave you that nickname. Yep. Just. Okay, so what I want to tell the people now, I've been bragging about HR Visions for a while, but I want them to hear from the creators of one of the other books because I'm in Dynamic. But I want you guys to talk about Six Swords. Who wants to go first? Crisco, I guess it's you.
I guess I can go with the standard pitch we've been giving everyone. It's Mad Max meets Samurai 7, a lot of Tarantino influences, Samurai Jack, Cowboy Bebop. It's a post-apocalyptic spaghetti western. 6 kind of morally ambiguous guys, we'll just say they're pushing the line of villain, anti-hero, are forced together by circumstance and have to fight their way out of a post-World War IV New Orleans. Most team stories, they kind of go place to place and external things happen. They got to save the day. They got to fix the situation. It's, them fixing the world or the world against them. In this, it's a little different. The character's a little, again, morally ambiguous, hitting that gray line, anti-villain, villain. So rather than problems being caused in the outside world, they're the ones causing all the problems. They killed somebody. They burnt something down. They pissed somebody off. They stole something. So it's them against the world rather than the world against them. And when they go place to place, they have to work their way out of situations they kind of cause themselves. So it's not, again, the world trying to hurt them and them saving it. It's like, we're assholes and we fucked up and now we got to fix the situation.
That's.
Oh my God.
Can we talk about the video quality for 8 years ago? That's really good.
Yeah.
Our camera was fantastic. I kind of miss using the 35 millimeter. At the same time, I don't miss it. And as you can see, somebody else was in front of the camera back then because I didn't start in front of the camera until after my partner started being more and more busy.
Right.
Oh my God, yeah. Well, that was great, dude. How does that feel? Doesn't that feel like ages ago?
was. It's hard to even it- fathom's the wrong term, but like it's like another lifetime ago. And 8 years really isn't that long, but it definitely feels it
Oh,
definitely
it
feels
does,
like forever.
dude. And folks, if you get a chance, go check out that book. It's fantastic. It's so much fun. Are you still selling it?
Yeah, I wish we could have went a little farther with it, but it's one of those
Yeah, because I
things
remember when I
where you
spoke to
put
you,
a
you
lot of
had a big thing planned for it.
yeah, we did. I mean, uh, we had a bunch with I can't remember now. AHR
R
Visions? Yes, yeah.
AHR. Yeah,
AHR Visions. God,
yeah. There you
I'm
go.
going a little dyslexic here. Yeah, we had a lot that was planned with them. Ultimately, they just never kicked off. After we had funded, we were actually at San Diego when they were going to announce a book. I guess I can say now because it was online with Terry Crews. Terry was
I
supposed to
remember
come
that.
out.
Yeah.
They
Hmm.
had a panel set with him. We had just funded our first Kickstarter. It's like sweet, we already got the coattails. We're riding this guy to the sky. Something happened with the guy who was running the company's flight. He
Yeah.
wasn't able to make it out. I guess some
Yeah.
internal things happened. They canceled the panel, and then things just kind of never panned out after that. I ended up paying for a fourth book with one of our cover artists in that video, Plaid Klaus. He did
Mm.
Void Trip for Image. He's got a bunch of books on Kickstarter he's been doing for his own thing. He's actually doing for the Mafia vs. the Clan. He's going to be doing, once
Cool.
again, our exclusive cover. I love Klaus. A personal goal to eventually do. I've got the story in mind. It's budget and timing has to line up. But we had a fourth book done by Klaus that I paid for. I got it drawn out, got the color started, the letters, whole thing. And it will unfortunately never be released. It is on my Substack though. I do give an 8-page preview just to give it a
Nice.
little life. But yeah, we planned a lot with the Six Swords, and that's one of those things where you learn lessons. And funny enough,
Yeah.
is one of the lessons that Dirk tried to tell me before I did it is don't put all your eggs in a basket. Like
Oh,
start
definitely.
small, start tiny, do the 5-pager, do the anthologies, then work for the single issue. See where issue 1 goes, see where issue 2 is. Like you can't, it is exciting. Everyone is obviously on this podcast very passionate about comics. They're passionate about the medium.
Hmm.
So for anyone who wants to do it as well, be passionate,
Yeah.
but be strategic, because if you
Yeah.
put all your eggs in your basket and you blow out your cash and your capital and the thing that can actually push your book forward right out the gate, guess what? You're gonna be taking a lot of time off or never coming back. And that's kind of luckily with the Six Swords, I was able to recover. But there was a lot of money spent in marketing and all these different things, and things just
I
didn't pan
love the
out.
fact that we're here again because I feel like we've come full circle.
It's 100% full circle.
Yeah.
It's definitely full circle.
Yeah,
Um,
and it showcases to the people out there that stuff happens, and this is the reason why comics take a long time to come out.
yeah,
Mm.
they do, and things happen in between. Like I said, there was a bunch that I was trying to get out. I even tried, like I said, I tried the literary agent route. Didn't work. I tried to get other books done with other projects. Artists dropped on me.
Yeah.
So you really have to come up with a plan, be strategic, know what you want to hit, and then start hitting those goals small. And as you build your portfolio, the stuff you can bring to cons, the stuff that you can do, then you can start showcasing that a little more and start putting a little more money into bigger things, which I think crowdfunding is like the superpower for. It's a steroid for. You can build an audience and then you can make your money back on whatever you're putting your money in for, depending on if you want to eat the creative costs and just pay for a print run or do the whole thing. I think crowdfunding definitely changes the game than just investing and hoping that a big publisher is going to pick you up and give you a job.
I've seen a lot of people do that. They wait for the big publisher. I'm like, dude, just do your stuff.
It's not going to
You need
happen.
to have something in order for them to see it.
No,
Yeah.
you got to prove there's tractions. That's what I'm
Exactly.
finding with the schools going out. I mean, everything is a great idea, but until I get traction and show effectiveness, it's just sitting on the shelf at this point. So you got to prove your worth to everybody.
That's literally been a thing I've heard from like every creator I've ever interviewed, because I always obviously wanting to get into it. I would always sneak that question in my interviews, like, "Hey, so how do you break into comics?" And that was always the same thing: make comics. Like it's
Yeah.
cliche, but every publisher, whether they are smaller indie, bigger indie, or even one of the big ones, like you have to have a portfolio. Are you going to work? Are you going to take an 8-year layoff of, hey,
Yeah.
this big project is screwed up? and then still be able to come back and bounce back. They want to know that you are invested in this, because if they truly are a big publisher, guess what? Put money into you, and companies want in return on investment. They don't want to just bank on, hey, maybe this is a wonderkin and the next great thing.
Yep.
I completely agree. And but it always bugs me out that how afraid people are to make mistakes. I'm like, dude, if you don't make mistakes, you're never gonna know how to do it right.
You're also not human.
Yeah.
That's being human. Being a human being is making mistakes, growing up, learn from them, progressing forward with the lessons learned.
I'm still figuring out how to set up my table, and it's been 3
Yeah,
years.
there
So,
you go.
it's getting better each time, but it's just like there's always sense for improvement, and that's why I look at it. So,
Folks, just do it and then figure out what you did wrong and what you did right. But you can't figure that out until you do it.
No, we can't. We can't even get the experience. I think just, again, this is personal, really subjective, is like, I am a learn by falling on my face kind of person. I've had enough people, I'm sure everyone else has told you, don't do X, Y, or Z, and then you do X, Y, or Z. And it's like, why did I do that? I just had someone telling me not to do it, but you don't learn until you do it. Like I said, I had Dirk telling me, giving me advice on certain things, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to do it anyway.
I got
and,
you.
Not the guy who's been in the industry like 20 years before you and probably did it himself and everything else. But, and I had other.
the fire looks so cool. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Why can't I touch it? I don't understand. It looks like a great thing.
Oh my God.
Experience goes a long way. So fall on your face, get up, and then, do better.
All right, CE, I'll start with you. Tell the people where they can find you one last time. There you go.
Yeah. So CE Massari. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, CE Massari, as well as Substack, Master of None, where I write, a bunch of different things. I did a philosophy, I compared basically South Park to the great Greek philosopher Diogenes. You can find stuff like that in there. I did Why Superman is the greatest superhero of all time, philosophy of Superman. I recently compared the biblical gospel to martial arts. So I like to take that super awesome philosophy and religious studies degree that I got in college, because I used that 70s show joke. All the philosophy factories closed down, so I got to use it for something. So I try to take that background of my undergraduate, if I'm not writing comics, to weave it into some different essays and different thought topics. But yeah, you can find me there. And then you can find the Mafia vs. the Clan on Kickstarter coming September 15th. The tagline is John Wick meets The Godfather. It is a mix of nonfiction and fiction story based on my family's real life. The main character is based off of my real life grandfather and some experiences that he had in the South as an Italian American with the Klan, as well as the death of his sister, Augustina. That was a big event in Philadelphia history, and weaving a lot of very, very personal stories. If you look at any of the podcasts I did in the past, I don't want to kill time, but if anyone wants to learn a little more, I have done lots of podcasts. I've plugged this story. I've plugged the history. It's very, very personal. This is definitely a love story to my family. I'm trying to give back to what they've given me as far as the pride in my Italian American heritage, the life I have. I'm very grateful for that. And this is trying to tell that story in a fictional, non-fictional way, in a fun comic, because I just think comics are the best medium. They're a great way to tell story. And I really try to take everything that I learned in these last years and make the comic medium the best that it can be. If anyone reads Aubrey Sitterson's Planet Freedom or Planet, I can't remember off the top of my head, but Aubrey Sitterson has a Substack, and he wrote a great article that really inspired me about how he was trying to do a Free Planet. That's the name. It's Images Free Planet. How he was trying to really take the comic medium, use all the nuances of what makes the medium great, and I wanted to approach this in the same way. The inking, the stylization, the way that you can tell and weave story through images. I really tried to push that in everything that I learned over the last 8 years, besides it being extremely personal. But at the very bare minimum, if the Mafia vs. the Clan as a title doesn't sell you, I don't know what will. And the subset to that is if John Wick meets The Godfather doesn't sell you, then it's just not the book for you. So at
I
the very
gotta
medium,
say, you leave them wanting more because we're gonna have you back on the show as you get closer
oh,
to the
come on.
Kickstarter and after the Kickstarter starts because I want people to go check this out. So folks, we'll have CE back on and we're gonna get more in depth into all this. But right now, go check him out at his page. Go
I
follow
really
him.
want the Mafia to win because it just looks just like it looks like no, but it looks like I just had his name. Oh shoot, come on, Robert Mitchum. That's such a great portrait of Robert Mitchum there. It's awesome.
So I don't know if the artist was inspired by that. He might have been, but yeah, it's an easy bad guy.
Yeah.
Take a K, like black and white, easy sell. Mafia's gray area. Like if you like, there is again the fun philosophical and personal aspect to it, but at the very minimum, it's a violent comic book. It's John Wick. It's going to be emotional, but guess what? If the violence and the action and the art isn't selling you, again, I can't win you over. I'm sorry.
So let me ask you this: is your page ready to sign up, or is not ready yet?
Yep. Oh, you can jump on. You can jump on. You can see.
Oh, okay. So
pictures
put the link
of the books.
in the private chat, and I'll share it.
Yeah, I'll share that, and also if you go on the page, there is a 22 page, so essentially the first issue, free preview. So if you want to check out the book, if you want to see like the actual done stuff, you click on it, you go right to the link, you can read the first 22 pages of the 110. And we have, I think we're at 41 followers at the moment. If we hit 50, so if we get 50 followers, 50 first day backers, that's our first stretch goal. Then we got 100, 150, and then 200, hopefully by the time we hit September. But if you already want to start, right there. If you want to start hitting those stretch goals, you can follow us today. If you scroll down a little bit, there's a nice little link to, like I said, that 22 page preview and some art pages, some info. We've got it all there. Yeah, right there. Free 22 page info. We're going with the noir. We're going with the Sin City stylized kind of red and some other things. So for anyone interested, we are live on Kickstarter. You can start following. And again, you can follow me on Substack, Master of None, or Instagram and Facebook, CE Masari. So you can already get a little bit of taste of what's to come in the story.
Yeah, folks, and I'm gonna make it easier for you because I know my friends gonna be out there going, Ralph, I'm not gonna go look for it because you didn't put the link in the comments.
Yeah, because I typed it in wrong. Please.
I got you. I got you.
Here we go again, man. It's just like a freaking another Kickstarter I'm joining. It's okay. It's all right.
Well, I appreciate the support. And I'm always happy. You can see I put skin in the game. If you look at my my own Kickstarter follow up stuff, like I want to support people too. It's important for as a community to support other people.
So you can refresh that page now. You're good.
Let me
Ralph, you already got it in there. Never mind. Ralph already has the link in there.
Well, it's in the comment section anyway, folks.
Link works.
It's in the comment section, folks. Hold on. Find it over here. There it is. Share this tab. Bring it back over here.
Like I said, for the other co-hosts and gentlemen, if you guys have podcasts, you want to talk comics, you want to talk stuff, I am very happy to come on because, as you can tell, I can talk all day, run my mouth.
Yes, folks, these guys know how to geek out. That's why you got to go check them out. And now, number 2 Pencil Man, tell people where they can find you.
Yes. So first of all, I wanted to say it's been an honor coming on here and getting to chat with other amazing creators. Sorry, I stumbled over my words there for a second.
Don't worry.
It's been a real fun time geeking out with everybody, and I've learned a lot, and I'm definitely very inspired. So thank you all for having me and giving me the opportunity, and I definitely want to, connect more with all of you in the future. And yes, when Indie Synergy Exchange does come back, I'll definitely be hitting pretty much all of you guys up to come on it whenever all the co-hosts can get back together here, which will be soon. But for the meantime, I'm number 2 Pencil Man. I'm not in costume right now, but there I am in costume. You can see me on, I'm pretty much on all socials. I have 2 different accounts. So I have one for Tanner's Tales Entertainment, which is like my main brand / business of it all. That's Tanner's Tales Entertainment. And then you can also find me as number 2 Pencil Man, and it's abbreviated. So it's NO2 Pencil Man.
Yeah.
If you spell out number, you may still find me. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how the algorithm would have that come up, but I do know if you type in NO2 Pencil Man, I do show up pretty much everywhere.
Quickly, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm even on Google. I'll be one of the first search results that pop up. You'll see my YouTube. You'll see my Instagram, my TikTok. pretty much everything. I'm on everything. So you can type number 2 Pencil Man into any of them, and you'll find me. I also have a website. So if you guys are interested in buying any of the issues of number 2 Pencil Man, they're all on my website,
Cool.
www.tannersTalesEntertainment.com. I also do a lot of promotions. It's in the link in my bio and a lot of my socials as well, so you can find it through there. Issue 3 will be coming out very soon for everybody who has been following number 2 Pencil Man. I will be doing my first ever Kickstarter. We're in the process of getting that set up. I just want to have it after the book is complete, so that way I have something that will not take as long to send out. So trying to time that has been the hardest because it takes time. But it should be up by the end of July. And, this is my first ever Kickstarter. I didn't do the first 2 with Kickstarter because I didn't really have a fan base, but now that I do, I'm going to give it a shot. And hopefully it'll go well. And hopefully it'll help us get the funding that we need to start number 4 pretty much right afterwards, because we're close to the end of the arc, and I want to try to get the end of the arc out in the next year, so that way we can wrap up that first arc, and hopefully I'll have more to show people out there with the story. But besides that, I'm also on YouTube starting up new skits with new characters, and also going to be doing some new story times and just trying to do some more content overall. So you can check me out at Tanner's Tales Entertainment. It's where it all started on YouTube. If you want to see cheesy live action number 2 Pencil Man videos, we got them, and there'll be plenty more of them. So yeah, you can check me out pretty much anywhere at either Tanner's Tales Entertainment or number 2 Pencil Man.
And I've made it easy for you guys because all that stuff is in the comment section. I don't want to hear it. I'm like, oh, Ralph, you didn't put it over there. I'm not going to go look for it.
Do you have a pre-launch page up yet, Tanner?
Not yet. I'm still getting the ins and outs of that. I'm hoping my artist can help me with that, because when I tried to do it the first part, I don't have like the art formatted correctly, so it didn't look as good. So I'm like, I'm gonna wait. And he's busy right now, so I gotta wait a little bit longer.
Gotcha. Well, if I can help you in any way, let me know.
Which goes with what we've been saying. Stuff takes time, folks.
Mm-hmm.
It does.
And now it's your turn. You tell the people where they can find you and how to go check you out, because you're cool people.
I'm cool people. I appreciate that. Yeah, we're talking comics podcast with no G. When I was researching names, when my daughter said this is the name she wanted, I didn't find anything, but there is actually a Talking Comics podcast like on Apple with the G. So I dropped the G, added an exclamation point everywhere usually. Just to try to be different. Wasn't trying to step on anybody's toes, but here we are, and now it's like it's stuck and I can't get rid of it. So we're gonna be Talking Comics podcast. And like I said, we have Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all the social stuff, the YouTube channel, Apple, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcasts, as the cool kids say these days. It's everywhere. We have a lot of fun. My daughter and I started this, as you can see in the first 2 pictures I pinned there. It's really all about my daughter and the community. She got to meet Scotty Young and Stephanie Phillips, people look up to. It's something for her, and it's quality time, parenting. I may not be the best dad, but I offer, we have a lot of time spent together. And I did the same thing with my oldest daughter, just in the golf space, not in the comic space. Now I'm doing it in comic space with my daughter and a podcast, which is so weird. But
you're a good dad.
I try.
I think that puts you in the #1 spot, AJ. You're good.
Yeah, and I loved it. I've learned to love being now in front of a camera and a microphone, and I can't. Now I would be lost. It's helped my extra, being an extrovert, when you don't get out much, especially like COVIDs and stuff.
That is true.
This has helped, tremendously. So, yeah. So Talking Comics podcast, again, like Tanner said, thank you so much for having me, inviting me. I love being on other people's podcasts, just if not more than hosting the podcast. It's so much fun to host and interview.
Dude, it's amazing when you're on somebody else's podcast.
Right?
You don't got to do all the other stuff.
Right, I've been sitting here like, wait, I got to think of a question. No, I don't. I can sit back and just chill. This is kind of nice, right? But yeah, like we have a sign up form on our website for guests and see. Just shoot me a message. I know. Same thing for you, Tanner. Like I know we've talked a little bit about getting you on.
I will be back on. I promise.
Yep. So we'll get you on. I do a really cool thing where people that have been on before, like Tanner. I let them come on the show with my daughter and I, like when we're recording our show for the week.
Nice.
And just do like a pop. They can either pop in or they can stay the whole time. You know, it just depends. With Tanner, he'll probably come and stay the whole time and have fun with us.
Yeah.
Play silly little games, but also be able to give him a few minutes to pitch his book and stuff. But you got to have your Kickstarter page up first.
I will. Don't worry.
I gotta say, we used to do the show in that type of format where people would come on for their segment. And then one day I was like, "What? We're all geeks. Let's just geek out."
Right. I've done it kind of both ways. You know, I'm kind of a little protective of, my daughter when,
that makes
who
sense.
I have
That
on
does
with
make
her,
sense.
right?
Yeah.
I really have to talk to the person or be somebody
Makes
that's
sense,
not,
yeah.
gonna, if I don't know them at all, it's like, okay, I'm not gonna have my daughter on.
I got you.
But like Tanner, yeah, of course you've been on before. Come on, like anytime. But that's been a fun way to do it, right? Because then my daughter gets involved, and I did one the other day without her, and she got mad at me. She's like, "Well, why wasn't I invited?" And I was like, "Well, it's somebody I didn't know." And they had like this like horror thrasher, comic, like talking about some weird stuff, and I was like, "You would not have fit in that." She's like, "But we're supposed to be family friendly, Dad." I'm like, well, it's
Holding
family
the feet
friendly.
to the fire. I love it.
Right? I was like, it's family friendly after the editing, not during
you're
the
right.
recording.
You're actually right.
Because but she keeps me on my toes. Like I said, she comes in and the art director tells me my thumbnails are boring and makes me change them. And, like I said, I love the community. It's been great for my daughter. It's been great. I've met some amazing people. With Mike Algier being one of them, Tanner being one, you guys, everybody on here. Thank you so much for having me, and I'd love to come back sometime.
Oh, you guys are all definitely invited back. This was a fantastic show. You can always tell that it's a fantastic show because we go way beyond the time we were supposed to.
Right? It's past my bedtime. No,
exactly. Dude,
but I will see you in Connecticut too.
Oh, that's right. We'll see each other at a Terrificon.
5 weeks.
I like Terrificon. It's a fun con.
Oh, it's a great con. Yeah, we were just talking about that in the green room.
And freaking Ralph lets a ride up there every time, so I got to.
Dude, yeah. Paul usually is my ride up there.
There you go.
So if we go this time, Paul, AJ will be there.
I will be there.
Great. I look forward to meeting AJ.
I have a table with Mike Algier, and we'll be right next to the Homebrew Comics guys.
Oh,
so
cool.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a fun weekend.
Love it, folks. So look for us at Terrificon. And I'm just going to remind you guys, as we end the show here, because our 6 o'clock special edition show, we have this great guy with this beautiful noir project, and you guys should go check him out. His thing right now is more of a comic strip. They release an episode every week, and look at this beautiful art.
It's awesome.
Dude, this just caught my attention, and I fell in love with it. And I had to have him on the show just to talk about all this stuff.
Well, it strikes a chord with Raphael. It's got film noir and it's got bears in it. What more does he want?
That's right up my alley. Bears and noir.
There you go. Had I thought of that earlier, I'd have a bear in my comic book. There's got to be a famous bear from history that I can focus on here.
Well, there is, because Teddy Roosevelt.
That doesn't count, though. Does that count? Is he a character Teddy Bear? I don't know.
Yeah, because that's where teddy bears come from.
Nah, it's got to be like a real bear. That's like, consume the Donner Party
Dude,
or
I'm
something.
telling you,
I don't know.
You instead of having Teddy Roosevelt, you have a teddy bear that acts like Roosevelt.
Okay, there you go. That's not a bad idea.
I want to put that link in the comment section as well. And I hope you guys have enjoyed the show. All these guys will be invited back because this was a fantastic geek out. And it was also nice to go back 8 years and show off an old interview.
We'll have that lore one day, Tanner.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, because as soon as I see you at the convention, I'm gonna be like, time for a video.
Right?
All right, folks. I hope you loved the show. I will end this show the way this show ends, and that's by pressing this button. hey, what are you doing here? Go follow